Open it up for questions. First one, guys, second row to your right.
So, obviously you've been through this before, but what was it like playing with the broken nose and playing as well as you did tonight?
I guess, the one good thing about having lived through this before, you just know how to deal with it. So the mask is super annoying and, nobody wants to wear it, but I've worn it before, so I put it on, and to be honest, I didn't really notice it that much. So you just kind of, play and not think about it, and I was able to do that probably because of the experiences of breaking my nose before.
Did you feel the nose kind of beat up too much?
No, I'm sure you saw me get upset when they knocked my mask off, because that hit down onto my nose and then it started bleeding. But otherwise, it's fine. Yeah, no biggie.
We'll go third row on the left.
That fourth quarter run, Sue, what kind of opened up for you, and where does that rank in terms of kind of individual stretches for you?
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest, what happened. These weren't set plays run for me to get threes. I think, as the game went on, I got some of the same looks early. I just didn't make them. And honestly, Stewie's the one that after somewhere late in the third, early fourth quarter, she was like, hey, you need to use your legs. And I was like, oh yeah, good point. Because a lot of the shots I had been taking in that third quarter, I was really short. So I just kind of, when I had the openings, just tried to think about that and shoot it the same way, and that's something that I think you learn over time is you can't let missed shots affect your next one, and it's a lot easier said than done. So, I'm happy that Stewie reminded me of that, and, like I said, I think I was just open. It was mostly off of, them having to focus on Stewie so much because she was being so aggressive, other players kind of getting in there, creating these openings. A lot of it was just kickouts to me, and I was just able to knock them in. As far as stretches go, this is up there. I don't know that I've had a fourth quarter like this in as big of a game in my life, to be honest.
Go third row on the left.
Yeah, just kind of going off that, just not you individually, but just this game in general just seems pretty crazy from the start to finish. That you guys falling down early, climbing back into it, all the lead changes. I guess for both of you, who've both played in some huge games throughout your career, is this one where you're going to remember for a long time just because of everything that took place?
Yeah, for sure. I think, when you look at everything as a whole, this whole series, and then the fourth quarter stretch that we had, obviously we're going to remember it. Like Sue said, I was trying to be aggressive, and then she came up and kind of just finished it up. She was knocking down tough shots. And then we just had, everybody was doing what we needed them to. AC was getting rebounds, Sammy was all over the place. And I think we knew the whole game, we might have been down, but we still felt like, we're going to win this. Eventually the tides are going to turn and we're going to win this game.
Go first around the right.
You mentioned, to both of you guys too, you mentioned Sammy. And just from a couple of big shots, some big rebounds, just how key was she during this game tonight?
Yeah. Sammy was huge. I think there was an energy that we were lacking, and the minute she got into the game, not just in the second half, first half as well, hit a three, she gets hustle plays. The thing about Sammy, she's the most annoying player to practice against. I'm not kidding, top 3 in my career, because she just never stops. She's the leading scorer in practice by far for the season, without question. She never stops. It's constant movement. She's a gnat on defense. I thought she did a great job defensively as well. And we really needed that. Because listen, this series has been it's been a grind, I think, for both teams. We want to run. They want to slow it down. It's physical. We're trying to get out. We can't. And it's like, and then you just inject Sammy, and she's like Tasmanian devil out there. And we needed that. I think it really raised all of our energy levels. And then on top of that, she hit some shots, got some big loose balls, and really was huge for us. And it takes players like that. That's what makes championship teams.
Stay first row on the right.
Question for either of both. Fourth quarter, Sue, you're going against DeWan on that jump ball.
Yeah.
Seattle gets that jump ball.
Huge.
Was that maybe the defining moment? Was there another defining moment in either of your opinions?
No, that's probably it. I don't remember exactly the time or the score, but I know on the insides I was like, well, that was big. We got to use the clock more. It was huge. It was time with her.
Second row on the right.
Sue, the third final strip for you, I guess, after everything you've been through with the franchise, was it mean at this point to get back there?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think your first time around, which is probably what she's feeling over here, you kind of feel like, so this is advice actually, you feel like, because it's your third year, it was my third year, and you feel like, yeah, this is great. I'm 23. I'm probably going to be here all the time.
24.
This is amazing. 24? I was 23. I'm probably going to be here every year. This is great. And then I didn't get back for 7 years. No, 6 years. I didn't get back for 6 years. And then 6 years later, it was like, okay, I don't want to, I need to capitalize on this opportunity. And we did. And then, here we are 8 years later. I didn't think I'd ever be back, to be honest. We started a rebuild, and there was no telling when we'd be on the other side of it. And it's not that my hunger for it went away or my motivation. Clearly, I wanted to stay at the top of my game. I wanted to help this franchise get on the other side of that rebuild. But the finals, that was very far from my imagination. So to be here now, in some ways, is probably sweeter than the other two. Just because I didn't think it was going to happen. But here we are.
Go first row straight ahead.
I've had an opportunity to travel to all the arenas pretty much in the WNBA and talk to a lot of the playoff teams. Talk about this new format, either one of you or both. The playoffs itself, not having to travel, getting that number 1, number 2 seed with you in Atlanta. Talk about what that has meant to you all and your feelings if you would have been on the other end of that. Because a lot of teams have talked about that travel just tore them down the first 2 rounds.
I think we were really conscientious of it as the regular season was finishing. We knew that we wanted to finish in the top 2, and we wanted that number 1 seed because we knew home court advantage was going to be so huge, especially with this condensed season. There's games every other day almost, and like you said, the travel along with that doesn't make things easy. So of course we want to have home court advantage here in Seattle, sleep in our own beds, that type of thing.
Yeah. The playoff format, I don't know that I love it overall. I think it does have exciting elements with the single elimination. I don't think it's fair for the third and the fourth seed to have to play a single elimination. That's a lot of pressure. And people think home court means something. In that, it probably adds pressure because you're supposed to win. It's this one game. And then the travel. Phoenix knows better than anybody. They've had to do it like 3 years in a row now. Where they've kind of broken the mold on the team that goes all the way through. So for them, I'm sure it's exhausting. It makes the 1 and the 2 seed, like Stu was talking about, so much more important. So yeah, there is that emphasis in the regular season, but overall, is it, quote unquote fair? I don't know. But it is what it is, and here we are. I don't know.
Go last question, third row straight ahead.
With DT on the other side, her record in elimination games and the comebacks that they've had in the series, was there ever kind of a point in the fourth quarter where you could exhale?
No. No, I looked up, there was 45 seconds. I think we were up, I don't know if it was 45. It was under a minute, and we're up 9 maybe?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Somewhere in that area? A 7 at one point, see? And I'm like, oh my God, if they hit a 3, it's a 6-point game. Or if they hit a 3, it's a 4-point game. Like, no, you're never. I think that's what we learned in the first couple games. They're never out of it when they have Diana. So that probably helped us win this game, to be honest, that experience.
Thank you.